Hello, I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College, and welcome to Mature Living. As you know, this is the show for seniors, by seniors, and let me tell you, we're going to have a great conversation today with several guests, and I want to introduce you to our first guest, who is Laura Stewart and Cece Hunter, and they're here to talk to us about, and as a matter of fact, they're ambassadors of the USA Pickleball Association. They're going to tell us about pickleball. They have a tremendous message for us as far as a tournament and a benefit that they come to tell us about. Thank you for being with us, ladies.
Thank you, Mary.
I know you come from Las Cruces, and so we've got to get that straight. But who do we start with? Let's talk about pickleball, and Laura will explain what is pickleball and maybe some of the benefits.
Okay, well, I'm Laura Smart, and I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And the benefits are definitely joy. And as far as health goes, it's aerobic. You burn calories. You're out there in the sunshine. It's so fun. And I highly recommend it. It's changed a lot of people's lives.
Yes. Tell me about pickleball. Describe the game.
Okay, the game is played on the size of a badminton court. We have a net, and this is our paddle. It's a composite paddle, and we have a wiffle ball. Yes. And you can get 4 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. It started in 1965 in Bainbridge Island, Washington. A former Senator, Joel Pritchard, with his friends and family, started the game, and they had a dog named Pickle, and every time the ball went flying, Pickle would retrieve the ball, so that hence the name pickleball.
Oh, that's so cute. And many seniors are playing this game, and you have tournaments, and I know you have a tournament each April, I believe, and so we'll talk about that. But I want to talk to Cece about the Mission 22. You're here for a purpose to announce a tournament that you have each April. Yes. And what is it about?
Okay, Mary, our tournament is called the Aaron Gifford Pickleball Benefit. It was started last year in 2018. It's in honor of my son Aaron Gifford, who suffered from PTSD. He served 3 deployments and came back with severe PTSD. He was in the first deployment to Iraq after 9/11. And when he came back, he was introduced to pickleball by my husband and I, and we introduced it to him and his twin sister, Kylie, and Aaron just embraced pickleball. It gave him an outlet, it gave him a community. He made many wonderful friends throughout the state of New Mexico. He participated in tournaments and just came to love the game. And we really saw that it really helped his PTSD. But unfortunately, in January of 2018, Aaron did take his life. And so Laura and 8 other beautiful women came up to me and asked if we could start a benefit and in honor of Aaron and all of our servicemen that come back that suffer from PTSD. And so we researched and found Mission 22, which is a national organization. Mission 22 spreads awareness that 22 veterans are taking their lives every day. And so we decided to raise funds for Mission 22 last year. And we were able to give them a check for $10,000 last year.
A lot of participation.
Yes, we had a beautiful tournament last year. We had 99 players throughout the state of New Mexico and Arizona, Colorado. And so we decided that we wanted to do an annual tournament. So we just had our 2nd annual Aaron Gifford Pickleball Tournament in April at the NMSU Tennis Complex. We grew from 99 players last year to 149 this year, coming from 10 different states.
And certainly we want to invite El Pasoans to travel to Las Cruces for April, so we want them to start practicing, and expecting to register. And people register for it. They can call you, of course, but they can register for the tournament, right, Cece?
On pickleball, it's called pickleballtournaments.com.
Yes.
They can register online.
Super. You know, there's Is it for all age groups, by the way? I know that there's seniors in the senior games playing pickleball. Do kids get involved
All
also?
age groups.
Okay.
I just played in the U.S. Open down in Naples, Florida. There were 2,166 players, and the youngest player was 10, and the oldest player was 82.
Oh my goodness.
It's for all ages.
It's for all ages, and it's an easy game. And you explained the gear you're wearing. You've got the tennis shoes on. You've got your sun cap. You look beautiful and energetic. And what can I do? Maybe I can sit on the bench and cheer. And watch. But this is a wonderful cause. How much does it cost to join your tournament each year?
Well, Mary, so our tournament, you would go on pickleballtournaments.com and sign up for our tournament. It won't be listed until probably January of next year. Our tournament will be April the 3rd and 4th, or 4th and 5th of next year. But it's a $65 entry fee, and that money does go. This year we decided not only to support Mission 22, but we wanted to give back locally. And so we decided to partner with Mesilla Valley Community of Hope, their homeless veterans program, and we've raised
Great
funds.
causes.
And we've been able to get, 7 homeless veterans into a home.
That is
And,
amazing. You all are doing
yes.
some. Your committee. Who are in the committee? We've got to give all of you credit.
Yes.
Aside from Laura Smart and of course Cece Hunter, who else is in your committee? And all these donors and supporters and sponsors. I'm sure
ahead.
you're looking for more.
We have, our committee has grown this year by 2, but we have beautiful women. They all play pickleball. They all knew Aaron. They had a passion for pickleball. They loved him. So we have Kathleen Guitar, Jamie Nelson, his twin sister, Aaron's twin sister, Kylie Gifford. We have Carrie Gaddy, Minerva Rivera, Lori Kramer, Laura Smart, myself,
Jana Vargas.
Jana Vargas.
Oh my goodness.
Am I missing
It's
anybody?
amazing. Women
Virginia
can do
Barbier.
such
And
great
Virginia Barbier, yes.
Very good. Women can do such great things, and you come up, you invent. We want to give a phone number and whatever you want to contribute as far as information, Laura. Would you share your message?
Sure. So I'd be glad to help teach anyone who would like to learn. Come over to Las Cruces, contact me, contact Cece,
Yes.
and we'll set up some lessons, free lessons, free.
Wow, that is amazing. I'd like to watch you all in action because sitting on the couch really doesn't paint the picture for me.
Yes.
But in a court with the right equipment, and of course you're going to tell us what to wear so we can be safe on the court. And we're going to give your phone number, right, Cece?
Yes, and Mary, I would like to also say that if anybody is interested in pickleball and learning about it, you can just go on YouTube and just Google pickleball, and there's tons of wonderful videos and just beginner videos, and you'll get an aspect of what the game is all about. But anybody that is interested in our tournament or any information, my name is Cece Hunter. It's C-E-C-E Hunter, and my phone number is 575-640-8725.
It's amazing. 8 minutes interview here goes so fast, but we've got everything in, and so we want you to call. We want El Paso to be part of this Las Cruces tournament for the Aaron Gifford Pickleball Tournament for such great benefits for our veterans. Laura, thank you for being with us.
Thank you,
Cece,
Mary.
come back again. Be sure and remind us sometime in April or before in March about the tournament coming up.
Yes,
Okay.
we
We
will.
certainly give you an open invitation to come back.
Thanks,
Thank
Mary.
Thank
you
you for
so
being with
much.
us. And we'll be back with more guests here on Mature Living. Thank you for staying with us. You're going to enjoy this conversation and eavesdropping on the wonderful places that you can visit here in El Paso. And I'm one that sometimes passes by and doesn't stop. So I'm going to make it a point to visit the MagoffinHome here in El Paso. And so we've invited Michelle Wood, who is the Education and Public Programming Coordinator at the MagoffinHome, which is a state historic site. It's so wonderful to have you because I think
thank
this
you.
is the first time we've invited you to Mature Living.
Yes, that's wonderful. I'm excited to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the MagoffinHome. Who was this family?
Oh, well, it's wonderful. It was built in 1875. It's an adobe home. And in fact, it's one of the oldest surviving adobe homes here in El Paso, probably in the southwest region. It was built 6 years before the train comes to El Paso.
My goodness.
Yeah, the population, if you can imagine, of El Paso at that time was around 700, a little over 700. Not a lot of people. But Joseph, of course, his father had he had inherited the land from his father, 1,280 acres. So central El Paso is sitting on what was once Joseph Magoffin's land. Wow. He helped use that land to negotiate to bring the train to El Paso in 1881.
Is that so? Oh my goodness.
Yes. So a lot of our growth, even things like electricity, water, gas, those all came at that time, and he sat on the boards for those. He was also a founding member of the Board of Education here in El Paso. Served as mayor 4 times, the longest serving mayor up until Jonathan Rogers in the 1980s. So very involved in all of the civic life of El Paso. Now his wife, Octavia, equally as important. She was involved in the community, and she helped found the Benevolent Society through Immaculate Conception Catholic Church just 4 blocks west.
Yes.
Yes.
I know that area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she really did a lot to make sure that the community was healthy and taken care of during a lot of difficult times, including a depression in 1896.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Difficult times.
Yeah.
Difficult times.
Yeah.
Wow, McGoffin family. That is amazing. And so they donated the home and across the street.
Right. Well, actually, it was their heirs. So the McGoffins actually lived in the home for 109 years. Wow. 3 generations owned the home. So Joseph and Octavia built it in 1875. And I also feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention, because I think this is such an important part of the story, and so many people really find connection with this, is Joseph was born in Chihuahua, Mexico. And so when people were converting their homes from adobe to wood and lumber being brought by the railroad, Joseph never did that. He maintained the adobe home. And we have so many visitors who come from Chihuahua who see the home and say, you know, this looks just like my grandmother's home.
Yes, because it was modeled by the Chihuahua homes.
Exactly, exactly. So at any rate,
amazing.
yeah, they owned it for 3 generations. It went through different changes depending on who's owning it.
Yes.
And
yes.
So it was actually sold by the heirs.
Yes.
Octavia Tia Glasgow was the last living member there.
Well, you know, and the reason why we invited you is that, do you have events and activities there, and how can we go and visit, and what does it take for a visit?
Sure. So we give tours every day except Monday. We start at 9 a.m. The last tour starts at 4. Typically a guided tour is about 45 minutes. However, if you wish to do a self-guided, we also have a pamphlet that you can take with you, and you also have a guide with you in case you have questions. And we always find that people have questions, and we understand. There's a lot to see in the home. So we do that, but we also have activities that are very much based around the history of the home. One is a cooking class.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. We do a cooking class the first Saturday of every month. And we're using recipes from 1898 El Paso.
That is so great.
Yeah.
I think maybe our seniors in our community, our viewers, are
Yes.
interested in going over there.
Oh, absolutely. We've
doing
been
that.
having a great success because, of course, we all need food. And food is such an amazing comfort and connection to our community. And you see that in the cookbook. It's wonderful.
And also, do you have like groups that might want to come for a little tea?
We do rentals. And we do have our rental policy online. We have a beautiful courtyard. It has roses and an olive tree. And a lot of people are shocked to see an olive tree here in El Paso, but that's from the McGoffins. Yeah.
How beautiful that is. It is a highlight. And like I mentioned, I've driven by McGoffin Street many, many times, never stopped. So tell me what's going to make me stop, and the next time I pass to McGoffin, I'm going to come visit you.
Sure.
Definitely.
So we have 1.5 acres of landscaped property. It is an oasis in the downtown area. And even if you don't want to come in for a tour, even if you and realize it's free to go visit the visitor center, there is a charge for the tour, but it's also free to sit on the grounds and come have a picnic.
Wow.
And we have some picnic tables out there. We have some beautiful trees and shade, and it's amazing. It's like this little ecosystem with all these birds and just short
Yes.
of the downtown.
That's right. How many blocks is it from, let's say, what is the Campbell and
Okay.
or
So
the
it's about-
church, the Immaculate Conception?
Yeah, it's 4 blocks
From the Federal.
4 blocks east of Immaculate Conception.
Yes.
So it's not very far away.
Very beautiful. And so, what other information do you want to share about your activities, about why it's important that you're here to share all this information and invite us to the MagoffinHome, which is a historical site?
Exactly. So part of the thing that we do and everything that we do is built around the idea of sharing our history. Because history are the stories that tell who we are, where we came from.
Yes.
And it's always important to touch back in on that. So we do things like the cooking class. We also have a make a thing because people in the 1800s were always making things.
That's
and so
right.
the last one we did were fans. We made fans. So everything that we do is kind of trying to find a connection back to who we are.
Very beautiful. Being born and raised here in El Paso, it is amazing to me what I haven't got seen yet.
Yeah.
And this is one maybe in the bucket list, right? You know,
Yes.
we put it on our bucket list so that we can go and enjoy so
Absolutely.
many beautiful places here in El Paso.
There
And that's one of them.
are.
How long have you been doing this, by the way? I want to learn about you.
June 5th will be my 5-year anniversary at the home.
Okay.
But I actually came into it doing historic restoration and conservation. The first project I ever worked on was the Plaza Theater.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. And then I traveled all over the United States. I worked on 5 state capitals, theaters, house museums, just like the one I'm working in now. And then, but I was from El Paso.
Really? The high school
So
did you go to?
I went to Eastwood.
All right.
I'm a trooper.
That's it. You're a trooper. Great school, by the way.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, it was one of those just rare, amazing accidents that I stumbled. I didn't even know this kind of work existed. And so coming into it and really just loving every aspect of it. And now I get to transfer that over to the home and I get to talk about that because there are amazing finishes in the home.
Yes.
You know, I actually got to do some of the paint analysis way back in 2011 prior to a restoration project. So
That's
yeah.
quite a career, Michelle Wood. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to meet you and that you came to, and we invited you and we got Carol to invite you to come and talk to us about your work. It's so
thank you.
important to preserve history.
Absolutely.
You know, especially in El Paso, this beautiful
Yeah.
place where we live.
Exactly.
And thank you for being with us. We'll invite you back when you have a big event and you come and invite us and we'll get over there. Maybe we can do a little TV show over there.
Around
Wouldn't
the
that be
holiday
something?
open house
Oh.
when it's decorated for Christmas.
That would be awesome. What do you think? I think it's doable. Thank you for being with
thank
us. I
you.
appreciate it.
So
Nice to
nice
meet
meeting you.
Great career that you have. And we'll be back with more guests. And don't forget to call 915-533-5147 if you want more information. You want to schedule a tour to the MagoffinHome. It's right here, right near downtown. We'll be back. Thank you for staying with us here on Mature Living. Our last guest is Dave Davis. He is a master gardener. He also teaches the gardening for health for seniors for the Senior Adult Program. And he is here to talk to us about the community garden. And we'll tell you where it's located. We'll tell you the benefits of community gardening. And also, I want him to say a little bit about his class that he teaches for us. So, is gardening good for health for seniors? Tell me about your class, Dave.
Absolutely. And container gardening for seniors is what we teach in our EPCC class, the SAP for seniors. most seniors don't have space or availability to put in a garden in their backyard or anything like that, so they have to do a container. And we teach how to use a container to grow all kinds of vegetables and things like that. But to correct you, I'm a past master gardener.
Okay.
I'm not currently a master gardener.
Okay, very good. But certainly that knowledge that you accumulated over the years, you also have a company that professionally you are.
Yes, my
Definitely.
company, Modern Plant Concepts, has been in business since 1973.
Yes,
And we sell, service, and lease interior plants.
very good.
So
A lot of great knowledge is accumulated there
a little bit.
with you. Okay,
A little bit.
tell me a little bit about the community garden and the advantages of having a plot or a space at the community garden and where it's located.
Well, the community college rents 2 plots up at the Multipurpose Center, and that garden is called the Via Verde Garden. And it's right next door to the Multipurpose Center on Viscount. I think the address is 9031 Viscount. The reason it's so important is so that people gather and they learn how to garden, what is entailed in gardening, how to go about choosing, selecting certain produce that they may specifically want that may not be available in the stores. We have a lot of Asian population that grow produce that they've brought from other countries like the Philippines and Korea, and they grow their product there in the garden.
Yes.
It's for their own personal use.
And how does one get a plot or a piece? And what are some of the prices that they rent for annually? And of course, we're going to give the number for the Multipurpose Center where they can find out more.
Right.
But this is a city facility.
Right. That's correct. Under city parks.
And so what size are the plots and how much more or less?
They run anywhere. They rent for $8 to $32
A year.
A year. The $32 one is 4 feet wide and 16 feet long.
Large.
Pretty large, yeah. And the smaller one is 2 feet wide and 8 feet long.
And you're there actively involved in that garden.
Yes.
And so what do people learn about soil and, those kinds
what we do is we try to introduce people into all the facets of gardening. What's entailed in making compost, for instance, the different types of compost, how to operate the tumbler. We have a tumbler up there. How to go about sifting it out. The product that goes into that tumbler that we turn into compost to rejuvenate the soil, because the soil is depleted every year after each time you have a crop that comes in.
Okay, very good. You mentioned earlier in our conversation about weeding. Is there a particular way to
sure.
weed a garden?
Sure, most people don't know how to weed.
Okay.
And I really discovered this by accident when I was watching them. They would break off the top part of the weed
Yes, I
and
do that
leave
all the
the root intact. And that does you absolutely no good. In fact, what it does is it creates double work. And because the weed still has the root in the ground, and it has
So is there an
opportunity.
instrument or a tool that you use to weed?
There's all kinds of tools available, and during the course of what we do up there at the garden, they have the opportunity to use all those tools.
Very good, very good. How many members are there?
Right now,
actively?
we have maybe.
Are you recruiting?
Yes, we are recruiting, of course.
There's spaces available.
There are spaces available.
Very
right.
good. Very good. And so they can call, and we're going to give that number. What is mulching? I hear about mulching, but I don't know.
Well, if mulching is the predecessor to composting. It is if you take mulch and you leave it long enough and you work it correctly, it will turn into compost. So
Yes.
it's like the very, very beginning. It's shredded paper or shredded wood that
Leaves.
that have
My
been
dad used to put eggshells,
coffee grounds,
Coffee, all that.
tea bags.
and you can start your bucket,
Right.
or does it have to be covered?
No, in fact, it needs to be uncovered.
Uncovered,
Yeah.
open. And he used to have a big tumbler, and he'd put his eggshells in there and whatever.
Right.
What else can you put in? From-
Everything that goes in the garbage disposal can go into the compost bin.
My goodness.
Everything that you're throwing away in the garbage disposal can be reused, recycled,
For-
repurposed
for mulch.
For composting.
For compost, yeah, for
Right.
compost. Wow. That's an interesting way to recycle and to keep
and
our...
composting is really the very, very beginning of what you need to know about gardening. If you know how to fix the soil that you're dealing with, then you can grow anything. But if the soil is bad, you can't grow
or weak
anything.
or just doesn't have any nutrients, nothing
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what composting does.
And people buy the food that you
Correct.
sprinkle into the plant. But,
Yeah.
but if you got good compost, you don't have to buy that additional stuff.
Exactly.
Very good. What about drowning plants? Is there such a thing? I kill plants because I overwater.
Well,
and especially in the indoors.
In container gardening, what we do in the class is we have one whole class that is dedicated to building self-watering containers. They are called, you can find out about this, it's not a big secret. These self-watering containers, the container waters the plant. You don't water the plant. All you do is you keep water in the container.
And it trickles.
And it, as the plant wants the water, it drinks the water.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it's up to the metabolism of the plant. How fast is the plant growing? If the plant is growing real quickly, it's going to be using a lot of water. If it's growing slower, it uses less water.
How neat.
But we have no way of really knowing exactly how much water a plant takes in by looking at the plant.
Yeah.
You'd have to have some really specialized equipment to do that.
Yeah, okay.
But if you have a container that operates on the plant's needs, then
works.
you don't have any issue with overwatering or underwatering.
I want us to give the phone number right now of the Multipurpose Center, and I have it here, area code 915-598-1155, and that is to get a hold of the people at the Multipurpose Center, which is a city facility on Viscount, and the address is...
I believe it's 9031
Yes,
Viscount.
and that's where the garden is, that community garden.
The garden
as
is
well.
right next door.
Now, if people want to ask you some questions, Dave, can we give your number?
Absolutely.
Can you give it to us?
It's 594-3617.
Super. And right now, what we're recruiting, and the main message is that we want people to rent the plots
Sure.
and learn about gardening hands-on.
Right.
You'll be there. The other gardeners, like more experienced ones, can share information, what they're growing, how to prepare the soil.
Yeah, there's certain plants that you can't plant everything during the course of the year. You have specific time periods where you plant and then you harvest. Okay, and fortunately for us here in El Paso, we have a climatic condition that allows us to garden year round.
Okay, that's it for this week. Mature Living, and we'll see you all next week.